All right, everyone, here we are. It is the late afternoon now of the Wednesday of RSA Conference 2024. And we're doing our Cyber CROs in the Cybertruck series. And with me right now is Brandi Moore, the CRO at Mitiga. Brandi, welcome to this Cybertruck.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm enjoying having everyone in San Francisco stare at me
It's very
as
weird.
we drive around.
Very weird, right?
Yeah. It's not what I expected, actually, being inside the car. There's definitely a lot of glass in here.
There's a lot of glass.
An excessive amount of glass. And yeah, it feels like almost like being in a sunroom, which I don't think is what it looks like from the outside at all.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think, well, I noticed yesterday afternoon, it's not so bad today for some reason. It actually got quite warm in here. And I was trying to figure out all the controls and which AC did which thing and all the rest of it. So anyway, it's a bit cooler today than it was yesterday. But yeah, it's a lot of glass. My feeling driving it is it's a lot more nimble than it looks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering that if it feels really wide.
I don't feel like I'm driving a bus.
Okay. Okay.
So.
That's not how it comes off at all from the passenger seat.
Oh, really?
I am also afraid of the windshield wiper. Just so it's clear.
Yeah. If someone comes to the car to attack you, just windshield wiper the thing and they'll knock them out.
That'll definitely, if you live in a buggy area, you're all set with that windshield wiper, right?
It's gonna destroy
that's
colonies
like
of
cyber
bugs.
wiper right
Cyber
there. It's
wiper,
like,
I love it.
We'll clean off your whole network in one swoop.
As crazy as this is, we're actually driving behind a Zoox autonomous vehicle. There's no driver in that car. And it's just driving along its own sweet way, which is kind of interesting. Anyway, Brandi. So tell me about your first ever RSA conference.
1990, I think it was 1999. I was part of operations security at AOL, America Online. So,
okay.
And I asked if I could go to RSA, and I really wanted to go. And my boss said, well, you can go if you write down everything you learn and give a presentation when you get back. So I think at the time the conference was, it was much smaller than it is now.
Oh my gosh.
And it was exciting to just meet other security people. At the time, I was in an organization that had to build most of their security tooling themselves because there just wasn't simply another place that had a network like we were managing. So it was just interesting to see how people were handling things in different ways or different problems. It's fun.
And was that in San Francisco or down in San Jose? Because it used to be.
That was, the first time was it San Francisco or San Jose?
One-way street.
I definitely have been to both.
Okay. But
I'm not sure which one was my first one.
And these days, do you prefer RSA or Black Hat?
You know, I'm just not the biggest fan of Las Vegas, I guess. I'm a city person, so I do enjoy kind of being able to walk around San Francisco while I'm going back and forth to the conference. It's interesting to think about that from the people that come. So this year I was really struck by how many conference newbies I met.
Oh. First
time conference, and they had pins on, so you could really tell it was them. We were in the RSA sandbox this year. And so I found it fascinating that several people I talked to found their way to the sandbox, which is kind of a competition that not everybody knows about at RSA.
It's gaining in popularity though. I mean, there's like 1,000 people watch it.
It was fun just to see people kind of coming through the first time. It made me remember. The one last thing I'll say, today I had to wait in line for the bathroom, which I saw is a very good sign. So there's lots of women here now, which wasn't the case in the past.
Wow.
So,
I hate to say it,
that's my pulse.
The bar is
bathroom
low,
line.
But I'm glad you had to wait.
Yes.
Progress is what we call that. So let's talk about Mitiga. If I was a CISO on the floor and I walk over and they say, I saw you guys on stage at the sandbox, but I wasn't paying attention. What do you guys do? What would you say to them?
I think the easiest way to understand Mitiga is we are the security tooling that is needed if you have a cloud in a SaaS estate, which most people do. So there's lots of cloud tools like CNAP, most people know. But there hasn't been a set of tooling that was designed specifically for the security team. So the security team often has to go and ask DevOps for information. They don't have access to everything they need access to. Security teams work very differently than the team that oversees the cloud. So that's really the problem we're trying to solve. It's cloud detection, investigation with capital letters, really, and of course, incident response. Our background is from incident response. So we started as Cloud IR and started clicking that back, making a product that does the detection and the investigation as we deeply understood the problem.
And who is it that buys that then? Is it the investigations team internally or someone else?
It is typically the CISO kind of seeing, oh, yeah, we don't have good oversight and capabilities in this part of our network. And then the SOC team typically loves Mitiga because the SOC can go in and use the product if they want, but we typically sell the product as a managed service. And so the expertise that you can get by working with us is just unmatched. And that is something we do with clients. We sort of build their cloud skills as we work with them year over year.
And when you look at the plan for this year with what you're trying to do for revenue wise, are you looking for more smaller deals or a smaller amount of deals that are much bigger?
That's an interesting question. I guess I don't think about the makeup of that. I usually just flatline my ACV and think about, okay, this is the number of deals I need. I would say that Mitiga is appropriate for an organization that's mature enough to understand they don't have what they need for their cloud. And that means that some organizations are still not understanding that very well. So we tend to have those kind of bleeding edge buyers working with us now, a lot of technology companies. I think the other strange, odd thing I would share is that when you're working with companies that they may have a light footprint of users, but a huge cloud environment, which is really how we think about the pricing for our product, obviously.
So then is it a let's get in and expand, or are you looking for more of a complete solution at the start?
This team has been so impressive. I've been at Mitiga for about 1.5 years in what they've developed. So right now we are going through and working with existing clients and clicking them up, and we are able to upsell them. Sometimes a client will acquire another client, make their cloud much bigger. I think that the average client, we want to be adding more capabilities that we can upsell them on.
Got it.
Which is what we've been doing over the past 12 months.
Okay. And if a more junior seller was to get some advice from you about getting better at what they're doing, this is an either or question. Would you recommend they get good at understanding the product and what the capabilities are and the problems the product solves? Or would you recommend that they actually go and spend the time to learn much more about their prospects and their personas and what their fears and frustrations and how they get hired and fired and things like that?
Can I answer both? Okay, no. Let me try to. I actually think the best sellers right now in cyber are kind of a full suitcase seller, meaning that I can put them in front of a client and they can walk the client through a demo. It may not be a sales engineer level demo, but if they're out and about and they meet somebody that they need to be able to explain the value, I feel that there's such a short time window that people have an offer that if you can get somebody to meet with you for 15 minutes, you really got to nail them on this is why this is technically important to your organization. Of course, those business capabilities are important for the type of sell that we're doing. When you're selling a bleeding edge product, you really have to tell people where the gap is and explain it to them. And then you need to be able to sit there as they kind of sort through, like, is this a SIM? Is this like my EDR? Is this my XDR? And that is really a skill set that you learn even if you're not technical. Like, I grew up as a technical person first, but you learn that just selling other security tooling, right? You learn like, oh, this is how this fits together and that fits together. I think that there's a short attention span right now across the board. So it's good to have sellers that can answer those questions.
I feel like if you want your sellers to be able to go to that level, even though it's not a full SE demo, you're getting pretty talented, experienced cybersecurity sellers at that point. Is that what you're looking for?
That's correct. It's been very interesting to be out hiring. I meet people that they're, like, for example, I meet people that are struggling a bit post-COVID because they live in Boston and they were told that it would be fine to just cover California for the last 3 years. And, now everybody, I think when you're trying to start from the beginning, Mitiga is a small company. We really need people that have those relationships that can walk in and say, hey, I've sold to you before. This is going to solve your problem. I sold you Sumo Logic. This is going to solve your problem in this way because I know your environment, right? Just those walk-in sales, or whatever product it might be. I sold you Splunk. I know you wanted to store more data. It cost a lot. So I think those handshake relationships are really important in the beginning. Once you catch some wind and you have brand recognition, it's a little easier to onboard less junior sellers.
Yeah. What's one thing in sales or marketing today that everyone just seems to blindly believe, but you think is complete bullshit?
Scanning badges at RSA. So this year at RSA, I did something a little different. I asked people to follow us on LinkedIn.
Oh, okay.
And the reason I did that is because I felt like that was a way for them to get to know our brand. We have amazing researchers. We're putting up all this information. I thought this might be an opportunity for me to revisit them versus what I noticed at the show this year is everyone was like shoving their badge and just saying, go ahead, swipe my badge. And a lot of the badges were like, because they were just all letters that weren't really a word.
Okay.
So I just think people are sending all these emails and they're not reaching a potential buyer. I think a CISO is overwhelmed with messages, or anybody else in the organization.
And you can see who follows the company page on LinkedIn, right?
Correct. Yes. Yeah. I haven't done anything creative like trying to target those people, but I think my initial plan, it's an interesting thing you're bringing up there. I'll have to think about that later.
Yeah.
But my initial thinking is just trying to get some of this amazing work we're doing in front of more eyeballs.
Yeah. Let's play a game quickly here, Brandi. Fizzle or Sizzle is the game. I'm going to give you a couple of things. You have to tell me whether you think they're going to sizzle, i.e. keep being hot, for a period of time, or they're going to fizzle away into next to nothing.
Okay.
Very quickly. First one is Fizzle or Sizzle, the Cybertruck.
I feel like Fizzle or Sizzle. I think Fizzle, although I feel like it's going to have a vintage rebirth later. Oh. It'll be like an El Camino, okay. Right?
Or a DeLorean, or
yeah. Mm-hmm.
If people want them. Next one, Fizzle or Sizzle, the Palo Alto play to be the platform for cybersecurity.
I think that it's probably going to sizzle for a while. I think that it's difficult for buyers right now, unless you have a very differentiated technology. Like I think about AppSec buyers right now. There's like so many AppSec products, right? How do you choose which one's going to work for your organization? I think that consolidation is really helping a lot of CISOs.
Do you think that Palo Alto could pull together the industry to rally around their platform? Or are they thinking it more as just their own products all working together?
I'm not sure about that. I don't know enough about what their plans are in that area.
Is Mitiga a partner of Palo Alto or
No.
wants to be?
No, we're not a partner with them. Probably something we could do because we're a small company. We're just starting to think about partnerships.
Okay. If you were to look 5 years out, which one of these two companies do you think is going to have the biggest market cap? Palo Alto or CrowdStrike?
My gut reaction is CrowdStrike, and I don't know why. So, Sizzle on CrowdStrike.
Sizzle on CrowdStrike. Okay. What about, same question, but what about Palo Alto versus Wiz?
I'm curious to see. I think Wiz, I remember when we all had products on-prem, right? And then we went to VMs, right? And that was like a big thing. And it was so nice to go to VMs. It was like such a relief. You got to rebuild something new. There was just this mess of old hardware. I think there's a lot of people that as they clean up their cloud, as they move to the cloud, something like Wiz has the luxury of just building something so pristine, right? They get to start from the beginning with what they're doing, just cover the right things for the cloud. At the same time, so many people still have hybrid environments. I don't know how they're planning to answer that call. I don't think they are. I think they really are focused on strong play around cloud security.
They seem to be, but they took $1 billion yesterday, and they said in their release that's going to be for acquisition. So, what does that mean? They don't have much of a track record yet of dealing with acquisitions, and notoriously tech companies are pretty poor at them. I wonder how that plays out for them, whether they can get there.
Yeah, I guess we're going to have to see. I'm going to be interested to see. Like, it was interesting to read that they were looking at Laceworks.
That seems to have all fizzled away now.
Mm-hmm.
And the Sizzle and Fizzle, the acquisition of Laceworks seems to be a fizzle.
Official fizzle. Do you do fist bump with other Teslas when you drive by them in this car?
Well, not Tesla. I mean,
No,
they're
not
they're
just
everywhere.
regular Teslas.
Us the Cybertruck drivers, we do that a little bit. It's actually the guys from Dope Security. Have you seen their Cybertruck?
No.
They're a vendor, and they wrap there with their logo and the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
okay.
pretty neat. Slightly different question. What's a bigger waste of money, the Cybertruck or buying a booth at Black Hat?
I think it depends on where you are with your company, what the right investment is, and how you think about it. I think RSA for a company that's starting out is a good way to build brand awareness. You may not get tens of thousands of leads, but you're building a brand, you're engaging with people. I don't know about the Cybertruck. I'm conflicted here because the Cybertruck might have long-term value when it turns into an important vintage asset.
Yeah, in 10 years' time, it might be worth double, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What is a bigger waste of time? Sitting in San Francisco traffic on a Wednesday afternoon or following the sales advice on LinkedIn?
I think the sales advice on LinkedIn, yeah, it's, I just wish I had the confidence of some of the influencers on LinkedIn. Don't you? Do you ever wish that? Like, gosh, I wish I was this confident about my, my sage advice offerings.
There's one guy that's really good. His name's Andrew Monaghan. He does a lot of posting on LinkedIn. You should.
Okay, I'll follow him. That's your recommendation?
Yes.
Andrew Monaghan? Okay.
Very, very, very insightful posts. Not necessarily sales advice, but snarky comments are the specialty.
I was one of the first 100 people that joined LinkedIn.
What?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Do you get a special badge
yeah, they email me about it sometimes. I had to test it because I was in this part of AOL where we tested different things. It was called integrity assurance. We tested it for like privacy and security and different things. And it's come such a long way.
Yeah.
But it's been amazing to have it for like such a huge amount of time in my career.
So when was this then?
This is like probably 2001, 2002. I don't know.
Wow.
2003, somewhere around those times. I don't know
100.
the exact date.
Do you get a special badge though when you look at your profile?
They don't give me a badge, but they've emailed me about it before and just say this. At one point, somebody, maybe the CEO just said, I don't know if you realize this, but you're one of the first 100 users of LinkedIn. Thank you for staying with us. I just think about how far that product has come. It's pretty incredible.
Did you email them back with your address to send a check for helping them? You must have a say then in how the product has evolved. You need to talk about their terrible inbox and communication strategy and algorithm. You must have special rights to
find that my inbox isn't too bad.
Okay.
I think that's because I turned the follow function on.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Versus connect. Have you done that?
I think, I don't know.
So people can just follow me instead of connecting with me.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, you and I are going to be on like 50 or 60 different posts. Yeah. We have been photographed on this trip.
Yeah, our privacy
so much for keeping my picture off the internet. I shouldn't have agreed to this. What do you think? Cybertruck versus electric scooter? Who wins?
Oh, well.
You think Cybertruck?
I think Cybertruck wins because scooters are almost out of business, aren't they?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. We don't have those scooters where I live.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
In Manhattan?
Mm-mm.
Did you ever have them? Or were they always banned?
Maybe during COVID. I'm not sure.
Okay.
We have bikes. That's it.
The biggest question of the day, though, Brandi, let's finish up with that one. Do you believe that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelcey will make it through the off season?
Question. I do. I think it's true love.
You're an optimist for love?
I try to be an optimist whenever I can. I'm in cybersecurity. It's kind of depressing. I met somebody last night and they were like, cybersecurity is the worst industry to be in. I'm like, really? Wow. Okay.
Why?
It's depressing. And I thought, yeah, I guess it's tough. It's kind of depressing.
It's tough, but
it's exciting too. So much has changed. The bad guys are still hanging around. So I guess that just means we're all going to have jobs.
Yeah. So we believe in the miracle of T Swift and Travis Kelcey.
Yes,
awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, with that note, then, Brandi, thanks for joining me on the drive.
Thank you for having me.
And I wish you guys every success for the rest of the year.
Thank you so much.